TOMz.
Good afternoon, South Africa. It's that time of your weekday when we get to bring you the latest science and technology, entertainment khona la ku SABC TOMz for sure.
Njalo kanye ke simulele kaloku abaqolo unkqinkqi we-SABC Education sithi danki siyabonga.
So TOMz has been on a roll over the past few episodes on showing you the science behind izinto esiyisebenzisayo mihla namalanga.
Njalo kanye kwaye ke namhlanje sisayiqhuma bethu nale nqwelo. Umzekelo, how many times wena siye nawe apha ekhaya do you use isepa?
Well, I'm a guy, right?
Oh gosh, usiya bethu nale, never mind, but ke abaninzi bethu sisebenzisa isepa more than twice a day. Kodwa siyazi uba le sepa le yenziwe ngantoni kanye kanye?
No. Kodwa ke namhlanje sobe sifanda out soaps are often classified as bases, whereas ama-substances wona are called ama-acids. Alwazi kumehluko, ungaworisheki ngoba this episode is going to cover it all.
Njalo kanye yonke into ke from acids mind drainage to making soap to why we feel so gross when we've just had too much to eat. Yazi into hlala uhleli wena ubona uba namhlanje be-TOMz sabe seniphakela ntoni.
Get it?
Coming up next on TOMz, sifumanisa uba yintoni kanye kanye acid kwaye ke how we can figure out if something is an acid or a base. We get an inside view on acid mine drainage, a big problem in our country. Kwaye ke uba scientists zenza njani in dealing with it. We see the power of community when we check out an awesome soap make initiative. Sifunda kaloku about the acids emizimbeni yethu and why they can make you feel so bad. Kwaye ke we get some digital resources for your phone as well as a how-to guide on making cool soaps. And we find out where a career in hygiene can take wena apho ekhaya.
Amaxesha amaninzi ke siyeva nge-acids and bases kuthethwa ngazo ngexesha elinye. So kanye kanye yintoni umehluko?
Futhi kahle kahle adlala yiphi indima in our everyday lives. Asizweni ukuthi umzansi wona uthini.
So what's the difference between an acid and a base?
Acid and a base, I know from the scale type of view, like the pH scale, which bases are ranging from 0 to 7 and then my acids 7 to 14.
Acids are stronger than the bases according to their scales because the acids begin from 0 to 7, then the neutral, then the 7 to 14 are the bases.
Acid and a base, I don't know, I think an acid has a high pH level and a base has a low pH level.
Which bases and acids do you use in your everyday life?
Has to be water, vinegar, I think.
Soda, acids, then generally water is bases.
Bacabanga insipho yenziwe kanjani?
Insipho. It's a mixture of chemicals, I think, then they boil together and then molded to make insipho.
I think by melted down all the things is for. I'm not sure it's yini. Then when melted, they shaped them or molded them.
Insipho is a base, right? Yeah, bacabanga yenziwe ngani?
Chemicals.
What is acid mine drainage?
Acid mine drainage.
Dangerous acids that are found in the mines, I think. That's what I think.
Acid mine drainage.
No, it's draining acid from mines.
There we go.
Like how many cups of coffee have you had today?
Angazi, it's probably my fourth one.
I see, that is not healthy at all. Yonke into ngaphakathi kwakho must be turning sour right now.
Hayibo, chaza ukuthini?
Yazi into bethu nani ikofi le ikhuselwa ngusiya is acidic. That means that it is below 7 on the pH scale, which measures how acidic or basic a substance is. So ikofi emnyama lena is a 5, meaning wena unika umzimba wakho ingxaki ezininzi.
Hayibo, but don't I have acid in my stomach ukuthi take care of that?
Unyanisile you do, but again the acid apha in your stomach is actually strong enough to dissolve metal. But that doesn't mean that taking in acids as food is healthy for the rest of umzimba wakho.
So kahle kahle acid yenziwa yini?
Xa ke ufaka a liquid into amanzi, a reaction takes place. Uma ke le reaction releases an H ion, the solution becomes an acid. And if it releases an OH ion, it becomes basic.
Ama-scientists can tell whether something is an acid or a base by using litmus paper. Leli paper leli turns red when it comes into contact with acid and blue if the substance is a base. Ama-products amaningi esiwasebenzisa mihla namalanga, it is either an acid or a base. Slimy stuff like hair conditioner and soap is basic, while izinto sour like vinegar are acidic. So manje siyazi ukuthi ama-acid lawa asey'swini zethu are hectic. It has to dissolve everything esiyidlayo.
Yiyo loo nto ke acids are great for certain uses but really bad for ezinye. Masikuzame kaloku ziyaqhoba apha.
Good day, my name is Arno de Klerk. I'm a researcher from the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, and basically my job is to do environmental research. For this case study, we found this area which is a coal mine that's not functional anymore, and as a result of the disturbed area, it's causing all of this acid mine drainage to flow into the system. Acid mine drainage usually occurs where you've got extremely disturbed area, for example, coal mining activities or any mining activities, and usually there's some sort of material such as a metal sulfide, and the most common one is pyrite, which is an iron sulfide. So when you disturb those underlying geologies, it gets exposed to much more oxygen and water, which results in a chemical reaction taking place. And that chemical reaction then produces hydrogen ions, which then lowers the pH and results in all sorts of impacts, such as mobilizing metals because of the low pH of the water that the hydrogen ions cause. You get high quality field water quality meters that you can bring in, and it's physically a probe that you put in, and then it actually, through that sensor, it's able to give you readings of the pH and the salts, the dissolved oxygen, so you can get a very quick idea of what is actually happening within your system that you're testing. When we arrive at site, usually to assess an impacted site like this, we usually first look at the quality of the water. One of those things that we look at obviously is pH levels, to see how acid or how base the different waters are. We look at variables such as your total dissolved salts, so that gives you an idea of how many salts are in solution. For instance, I mean, you all know pH, is a scale that stretches from 0 to 14. Where 7 is your circumneutral, is your neutral values, and obviously the more you go below the value of 7, the more acidic it gets, and more above 7, obviously the more alkaline it gets. So a system like this typically has a pH reading of around 3, which means it's very, very acidic, and it's similar to sort of the pH levels that one would get in stomach acid. We would collect some water samples that we would take back then to a laboratory and have it analyzed for all of the different chemical constituents to see what the concentrations is that we actually have in the environment. We'd take sediment samples and then also have a general look at the surrounding environment. How disturbed is it? Just to give you an overall idea of how the whole ecosystem is functioning at a site like this. Obviously, it's not good for the environment, and the organisms obviously struggle to survive in an environment like this. There's different ways that one can potentially treat acid mine drainage. One of the most conventional or commonly used techniques is obviously lime neutralization, where they actually take the receiving acid waters, they dose it with lime to raise the pH, and then all of those the metal hydroxides obviously then precipitate out, and then the overflowing water then gets released into the environment. South Africa is generally known as a water-stressed country. We don't have a very high rainfall, so that's the reason why, all our water resources are very precious. Exactly for that reason. We don't have an abundance of water, so everything that we do have, we need to make sure that we respect it and deal with it as best we can. But in terms of water quality, this obviously is not always a question of water quantity, but water quality as well. And that's where I think acid mine drainage plays a huge role, and where it can make a huge impact if one can potentially solve the problems.
Yonke ke loo nto iyabonisa ukuba kuyo yonke into esiyenzayo noba kuphi noba kunini na will have an effect somewhere else that we might not even know about.
And acids are pretty insane. It's weird ucabanga ukuthi kahle la emzimbeni wethu sinawo amanye ama-acids and siyawafila nje ukuthi ayasebenza. Like when I eat a super greasy burger or drink too much caffeine, it gives me a heartburn. Kodwa ke the acids that are rising up from my stomach really stings my throat.
Kodwa ke ethamsanqa lakho namhlanje kaloku sobe siyakroba some ways those acids can be neutralized with bases, and then masike sayothi rhamji
Check out an inspiring community project that uses bases to help out, as well as how salts are formed with 2 insane substances. TOMz.
Oh, yeah, Yebo, TOMz sibuyele ke the best sci-tech entertainment on the planet. Utholakala khona la ku SABC 1 Mzansi futhi.
Njalo kanye ke sibulela kumaqelo omqinqiwe SABC Education City Danke siyabonga.
Ayike bafethu nani yalibonela ukuthi ayibo ikofi lami phela lisekuthe ubongi angilibeke.
Injalo kanye ngoba kaloku ikofi is way too acidic. Iyo lonto ke it makes the contents of your stomach go back up your throat like iyonyanyisa guys.
Ayike mina ngazi wena bongodwa ukuthi ubusushila ukuthi sobe thola kabanzi about the stuff that neutralizes acids in the next segment.
Bases get pH ephezulu lonto ithetha ukuba they are above 7 on the pH scale. Bases can neutralize acids ezijike ziform salts.
Okay, but don't we use bases a lot in our everyday lives?
Lonke ixesha lokusiya like your face cream is a base as well as your toothpaste and most importantly isep.
Ayike mfethu mina ngisebenzisa ngempela face cream FYI this right here is natural beauty.
Ah yeah right. Anyway mfethu nani masiyeke nukusiya it's time to get soapy.
Sisikhona espacini saqhubeka ngemishini yethu namhlanje sikhuluma ngama-acids and bases. Well, sivakashela abantu abayenza insipho abasitshela kabanzi basibonise futhi kahle kahle ukuthi iyenziwa kanjani dayideng. Khona manje, let's hit it. Sisiphakathi kwemishini yethu namhlanje sikhuluma ngama-acids and bases. Well, namhlanje sibuza abantu bala eMzansi abayenza izinto esisebenzisa in our everyday life. Well, let's find out more about that. Okay, so mangitshela yini out of the box?
Autobox into efundisa abantu ngokomsebenzi wezandla like insipho ukuthunga yonke into nje ufuna ukuyifunda la ikhona then wena mangaba sowufundile after that bese uzenzela eyakho ibusiness lo ibonayo ukuthi uzokhona ngayo bese uyenzela kwakho noma kukuphi la ubona khona ukuthi izawuhamba ibusiness yakho.
Okay, so ma wena kule sikole uchoose ukwenza insipho?
Ngichoose ukwenza insipho la kwesikole ngibona ukuthi iyona abantu bayisebenzisa kakhulu.
Okay, why you are choosing insipho?
Abantu bayisebenzisa kakhulu futhi ilula ukuthi uyenze nokuthi uyithenge mawunemadlanyana nje uyakwazi ukuyothenga and then bese uyazenzela bese uyithengisa ufumana more.
Okay, mangitshela ke ukuthi insipho le yegeze niyenza kanjani?
Sithenga lapha bese isistena kanje i-glycerin soap. After that bese siyayikhatha.
Okay. Oh, le glycerin soap le.
Glycerin soap.
Glycerin soap iyenza
iyo yona le yokwenza le iyafana nale.
Okay.
Lena is glycerin soap isoap kuphela.
Okay.
Lana ke ngobe soyayikhatha ifaka la kulesitsha.
Okay.
Masoqeda uyayifaka ku microwave. Bese uyikhathe.
So le ikhali iza ne smell sakhona or still nakhona u-add vanilla?
Uyayi-add mangaba inayo le ayibinayo vele smell sakhona.
Uyayi-add sakhona. Oh, uyayimeltisa ku microwave?
Yeah. Ithi ngifake le izoshesha.
Okay. Oh, le i-glycerin soap nale insipho e1.
Insipho e1.
Let good le
ikhala le.
Okay.
Then this is a meltisa la.
Okay.
For 5 minutes.
So why isebenzisa microwave? Can you ungakhona ukusebenzisa maybe stove samalahle?
Yeah, even the flame.
Or anything nje ekhona ukumeltisa down.
Uyayipheka ngebhodo lakho bese uyabheka ukuthi ingashi because ayifani nokudla.
Okay.
Yona uyabheka nje ukuthi ithatha isikhathi esingakanani.
Okay.
Like kwi flame only 3 minutes.
Okay, so 3 minutes iphela.
Yeah. Bese uyayithela la kuleyo.
Okay. Bese yini le i-tray yakho?
Le mold le.
Oh, okay.
Then masewomile uzoyithola seyiliso.
Seyiphelele?
Seyi-right nje so ungayithatha uyisebenzise.
So into idinga i-glycerin soap nje microwave ne-tray yakhona bese seyishayile? Oh, okay.
Then sibone la ukuthi ayikaqedi na.
Ma yenzani ma if uyifaka isikhathi eside?
Iyasha.
Okay.
Bese she's explode yonke into.
Sey-right manje?
Sey-right manje mawufuna ismele kamnandi isifaka ivanilla.
So kuzenzakalani if uthela ivanilla eningi?
Izosmela kakhulu la endleleni kufana nokuba ya waste akufuneka ngo-waste kufuneka ubheke ukuthi le vanilla yakho uthatha how many insipho ezingaki ukuthi usebenzisa le.
Okay.
Mangabe uyithela kakhulu ayinankinga nalapho ismell sakho sizoba kahle. Then mawuthi uyabhatha lapho uyabhafa izonuka lapha ebhafini but uyazimoshela nalapho izophela ama-speed.
Okay ma.
Then uyayishake ukuthi ihlangane.
Okay.
Masoqeda lapho uyayithela la.
It smells nice.
Then uyayilinda ke 15 to 20 minutes ukuthi iwome izoba sesistene.
Okay. Bese sey-ready.
Sey-ready.
Finally, I get to find out how bases help to take away my heartburn. Uma ugunya ukudla, it goes down the esophagus into the stomach. The stomach has gastric acid, which digests ukudla.
If there is a build-up of acid upper esiswini, it can push back up into the esophagus, causing a burning sensation. Like uthatha something like baking soda or mats like Rennie's, which are bases, it neutralizes the acid upper esiswini and forms a salt.
To prevent a heartburn, however, don't go to bed on a full stomach, overeat or consume too many acidic foods and drinks. Lokhu ke include utshwala, chocolate, pasta and milk products. So manje ke sesiyazi ukuthi pH in your body plays a big role in your general health.
And what's also cool though is that it's very important for the skin cycle. Now naturally the outer layer of our skin is a little bit acidic, which is why it can fight off bacteria. Cool, right?
Hayi kukhulu ngempela kodwa manje ke saye khefini after the break sola kabanzi about the historical uses and classifications of acids and bases. Find out. Siyabuya.
Ingabe yazi kona kuba ngubani owadala the indicator? Which careers are great for those who love hygiene and cleaning? Hlala uhleli kaloku wena kuze uthi find out xa sibuye zunga indawo. TOMz.
Salam guys, futhi ku teenagers on a mission. We are here to complete today's objective. Khona la ku SABC TOMz for sure.
SABC education. Now acids and bases play a very important role in our everyday lives, from soap to the life of supporting functions of imizimba yethu.
Now kwi-segment elandelayo it's time for a bit of time traveling and some rad apps.
Abantu have used different acids and bases for iminyaka emininzi, for everything from ukunyanga izigulo to making metal.
And thankfully, Tina la, we don't have to test whether something is acidic or basic by tasting like the ancient Greeks.
Yes, it did. Shut up.
Ngaphandle from categorizing izinto that taste sour as acids, the Greeks later figured out that basic substances are slippery. Now in the 1500s, fabric dyes discovered that they could change the color of silk by adding certain chemicals. Adding acids of course turned them red, while adding bases colored them bluish green. In the 1600s, Johann Rudolf Glauber found that the reaction between the acid and the base produces a salt. Later on, Robert Boyle worked on making an indicator that showed whether a substance was an acid or a base, the first step to the indicators esinazo namhlanje. Tesla, headed by South African genius Elon Musk, has also made a battery that can be used to power your entire home for a long time, or even be put in your car to save cost on petrol. And for the ultimate insecurity, researchers have made a lock that works with chemicals. It is based on 3 elements: an acid, a base, and an ultraviolet light. Ilock gelena ivulega only if it is exposed to the right kind of chemicals in the right sequence.
Yo, bafethu, the world is moving way too fast. It's really hard to keep up with new developments.
I know, see, right? Yes, and in Don't Bet Tonight, one moment I'm thinking, wow, like they really need to find a stepper that can clean those hectic kitchen messes. And then next, I discovered that they've made a magnetic soap that can take care of sticky situations in a matter of seconds.
Yo, it's pretty crazy. Well, I hope you are staying in the loop and keeping yourselves curious about new inventions. Of course, we are here to help you. So as we apps, let's go.
Of course, you want to have some fun with chemistry, so download e-molecule to your smart device. Ukudlala this fun puzzle game to understand how molecules are made out of atoms. Of course, you also need to learn more about acids and bases, so get your hands on acids, bases, and salts. And about this educational app, especially for Nina and Tolama Science Project Anzima. And if you want to why don't you go on to www.2coffbits.com/soap-making-recipes/. On this side is Gabanzi about all kinds of cool recipes and step-by-step know-how-to and making your very own soap.
We know that whatever you guys and girls want to do, has
inspired you towards a career in hygiene, or if hygiene and cleaning in general is your thing.
Now there are so many different opportunities in our countries for people with cleaning skills and a bit of knowledge on hygiene. There are also loads of places that can train you in that field. For a national certificate, hygiene and cleaning, you'll need grade 7 or an ABET level 4. Uzafunda about personal management, cleaning principles, generalized areas, ablution areas, floors, and environmental awareness. Ezinye courses can also offer technical skills, health and safety, customer care, coaching. Kwaye recommended subjects kaloku uba wena usese high school, maths or maths literacy, language, preferably English, the one that you use in practice once you have some training. Now there are a wide variety of fields you can go into healthcare, waste management, hospitality, food production, or even retail and merchandising.
There will always be a way to get more training and education for it.
But there's nothing like knowing more about the day-to-day working of a career ukuthi kusize phela lapha ukuthi udecide ake sithole le advice le.
La ngenza ngokufunda out of the box. So ndicela ukuthi Mzansi Afrika mangaba nibona ukuthi kukhona apho nisilela khona ningeza out of the box izawunceda ngokuthi nifunde skills umsebenzi wezandla lapho nizokwenza khona umsebenzi wenu ukuzithengisela like manje mina ngensipho ningeza nizofunda insipho namakhandlela ukuze nikwazi ukuzithengisela ezilalini ngoba umsebenzi awukho niyabona nani bantu badala. Then bese niyahlanganisa niyakwazi ukuzithengisela emakhaya nikwazi ufumana isinkwa sabantwana.
So in terms of a career in the environmental field, it's obviously always good to have a passion for the environment and a passion to make a difference. You can potentially then look at suitable universities and then study those different fields, whether it be biochemistry or zoology, and then go from that to postgrad where you do your honors and your masters and potentially your PhD. And then from there you start developing a specialist field, and through all that you grow your career and grow your profile as a scientist.
Kufikela xesha ke bethinani apho emakhaya noma senilithetha nawo mexesha laxesha loba nina nithethe nathi sithethe nani sithethisane ibe lonqoko kumajelo yethu omnatha nayazi ukuba sinamakhasi ku Facebook sinamakhasi ku Twitter siye namhlanje siphethe bani wapi esithini yena
Namhlanje ke siphethe unkosazana Ndlovu yena ke athi TOMz at 4 p.m. People are just so excited. They cannot wait to watch the show, and I hope ukuthi sesi-entertainile samnikeza yona leyo edutainment le ebeniyidinga owesibili siphethe ba.
Sithi uJeza Innocent uthi yena ke guess TOMz will be blowing this afternoon. Injalo kanye kaloku siyi-TOMz sinalanto mamsiyazi sinalawe rinalintweli akanoyazi uba ke bethinani umuntu ufuna ufana nonkosazana okanye nodeza siya wenza njani.
Well kusimple ngempela www.facebook.com/TOMz at TOMz_SABC_1 on Twitter. Till then, sithini? Keep tweeting. Exciting news, TOMz fans! This season, SABC launched with the TOMz T-shirt design competition.
Competition? Did you see I just say competition? Now what you must do is you must design a super cool image. And the image must have something to do with science and technology. Science, technology, TOMz, yes? Yeah. Then what you do is you upload it, or rather you share it on our Facebook page.
Yeah, but it's my favorite now. The picture that gets most likes on our Facebook page here, it's also printed on the TOMz T-shirt.
Not only with Facebook, yeah, but with Twitter as well. When you can comment, then who knows? We might be delivering a T-shirt yakho.
Ayike bafethu uhlelo sivala kanjalo. If usanombuzo noma amanye ama-comments, you can put them on our Facebook and Twitter pages.
Bakwena ke mhlambi unenhloni kaloku for social media yazintoni ungafumana inkcukacha ezithe vetshe ku www.tomz.co.za yazintoni. Have fun people with the assets and the bases that you come across every day. Tina, sanibona next time.
Ciao.
Next time on TOMz,
We take a journey into the world of complex mechanisms.
sidibana ne-guys kaloku at the Freedom One and their locally designed electric car.
Learn all about the strong beers.
Dibana nathi ke apha ku TOMz rhoqo ngemivulo ngensimbi yesine apha ku SABC 1 Mzansi for show.